Hello everyone! Magandang araw. Today we'll be discussing some key concepts of tourism marketing. This is an introductory lecture to explain the difference between regular marketing and tourism marketing. Most of the differences actually come with the fact that tourism has its unique characteristics. So to just give you a background of today's lecture, we will be looking at what marketing is and what is tourism marketing, and then differentiating what needs are versus what wants are, and discussing the unique characteristics of the tourism product, which makes it special and unique as a product that differentiates it from the usual consumer goods. And we will be looking at the 5 most important P's in marketing. There are a lot more. There are 7 P's, 12 P's. But for the purpose of not complicating everything, we'll just be concentrating on the 5 most important P's in marketing. So when we talk of marketing, the guru of marketing, Kotler, speaks of marketing as a social process by which individuals and groups obtain what they need and want through creating and exchanging products of value with others. So some key words for this definition is the fact that it's a social process, okay? Meaning it's an exchange between 2 people, 2 individuals, or groups of people, where there is an exchange of some needs or wants, and people create value, okay? In order for this product to be wanted, okay, or needed by that someone, you create a value out of the product, and putting that value in will make the other person want to buy the product. Okay? So it's an exchange. It's a social process, okay, where people obtain either needs or wants, and by exchanging these products, there is a value. So the value that we put is normally the price, how much the product is, and how much are you willing to sell it, and how much is the other person willing to buy it. That's why there has to be that exchange. Further, marketing is also having the right product at the right place, at the right time, and at the right price. So what we talk about here is the fact that the product has to be in the right distribution network and has to be sold at the right time. Imagine selling an umbrella, okay, during summer. Okay, there will be more sales when it's raining, okay, and at the right price. Yes, the product may be good, but if it's too expensive for the market, then you will not be able to create the exchange. That's why it has to be the right product at the right price, at the right place, and at the right time. Everything has to be right for the sale to be complete. We also look at marketing as the process of planning and executing the concepts, okay, pricing, promotion, and distribution of ideas, goods, and services to create an exchange that will satisfy individual and organizational objectives. This is the definition given by the American Marketing Association. So when we talk of ideas, goods, and services, this is the product. And it has to satisfy a person or an organization for them to consume it. Okay? So it's a long process. We have what? Here in UP, we have 2 semesters that govern the exchange, of goods and services. So you have marketing, and then another course on tourism promotions, and another on product development. And all these are marketing related. So there is a huge demand for marketing professionals in our industry and other industries as well. So if you have a liking to marketing, you will have to be able to come up with very good ideas, okay, from product conception to the distribution and to the consumption of the goods and services, up to the review of the production. Okay, so when we look at tourism marketing, however, okay, some key ideas that differentiates it with just marketing in general is that tourism marketing creates experiences. Okay, we are not selling an individual product. We are selling experiences. We are selling a group of products, from accommodations to transportation to food and what have you, okay, your recreational activities. So that's the entire experience. We're also looking at creating demand. We're not just going to wait for people to come. We will create it. We will create the demand. And we will do that by shifting wants into needs. When do we say that I need to travel versus I want to travel? Now, during the pandemic, a lot of us are already saying, I need to travel, okay, for our own mental wellness. But that travel used to just be a want. Okay? A want that can be disregarded if budget does not allow it. But now, a lot more people, especially the younger ones, are setting aside budget, saving, putting a travel fund so that you can see the world, because we are already shifting the desire to travel from becoming a want into a outright need. So when we look at needs versus wants, okay, when do we say, how do you differentiate what a need is versus a want? So I have a few examples here. So would you consider food to be a need or a want? Of course it's a need. We will die if we don't eat. Okay? But chips, Pringles, Pringles, potato chips, it's not a want. It's not a need. It's a want. Okay? You can opt not to have it in your grocery list. But other kinds of food, yes. Samgyup buffet is already a want. It's not a need. Okay. Water is basic to our needs. That's a need, no? Basic to our living, so it's a need. But ang iced tea, ang soft drinks, these are wants. Because you can live without it. You should be able to live without it. Okay? A Mac laptop, it's a want. You can have not a Mac laptop. You can just have an ordinary laptop, an Android laptop. Okay? Recently, now that we're doing online remote learning, laptops are necessities. But a Mac laptop, I don't think so. You can contest me on this during our regular class hour. An iPhone, is it a need or want? Some would say, oh, it's definitely a need. Okay. Let me know about that. Okay. Medicine is also a need, but travel is a want. You can opt not to travel. Okay, that's my basic premise. It is a want because you can opt out of it and still be able to survive life. So when we look at the unique characteristics of the tourism product, we look at it in 5 perspectives. Oh, actually, that's 6. You have intangibility, inseparability, variability, perishability, seasonality, and substitutability. So let's discuss each one one by one. Okay, so when we look at intangibility, it's being able to not being able to touch the product, to test it, to smell it, or to even hear it, okay, before you actually purchase the product. So we see a picture of the shoreline of Boracay, and that's all we get. We will have to buy it before we actually experience being on the boat with the wind tossing over our hair, okay, touching our skin, yung sun touching our skin, diba? But because buyers look for tangible evidence, we normally read through reviews or we ask people who've been to the destination. That's why when we talk of the tourism product being intangible, it is heavily reliant on reviews, on positive reviews, on vlogs, on blogs, on Facebook posts of our friends to really see the product before we actually purchase it. Because we cannot examine it, we will have to rely on the experiences of other people who have been there. That's why tourism products are intangible. They're harder to sell. But with good reviews, they become easy to sell. We also look at inseparability, where the service provider and the customer must be present for the transaction to occur. Most of the tourism products cannot be delivered to you. You have to go to the product, okay, to experience it. Aside from food that can be delivered, all other products, hotel rooms, this paragliding activity, you have your banana boat ride, all these things cannot be experienced if the tourist stays at home. You have to go to where the product is. So the customers become part of the product. Sometimes our experiences vary, okay, because the product and the tourist are inseparable. It also becomes variable. Okay? The service quality depends on who provides and when and where they are provided. So let's say there is this crowded beach, okay, and you go on this beach on a holiday. Your experience will be different compared to going to the same destination on a weekday, okay, in an off-season experience. Or now when you go to Boracay, there'll be less people than before. Okay? So your experience will be different. Now we also consider product consistency. Okay? It should, as much as possible, be consistent. That's why you have all these chain hotels that attempt to make the experience consistent. However, the consistency depends on the service provider's skills and performance at the time of the exchange. Let's say it's peak season and everyone's busy. Some of the front office clerks or waiters would be a little bit stressed out or hot-headed. They might not be giving you the full smile that you would experience if the room is not full, or if the hotel is not full, or if the restaurant is half empty. Okay, so that's the reason why we have to be able to standardize our services so that when this happens, when peak season happens, you will still have the semblance of product being consistent, whether there's so many more people or there's less people, off peak or high peak. We also look at perishability. Services cannot be stored. Airline seats, okay, once not sold today, okay, you cannot recover it the next day. Okay, the empty restaurant at lunch, okay, will have the same capacity for dinner, which means that you lost the chance to sell more because you have a limited number of tables and chairs. So you cannot carry forward unsold inventory. As such, you have to be able to manage capacity. Like during peak hours, probably have more expensive plate cover, plate price per plate. Okay? So you're selling at lunch at, let's say, 250 per executive meal. When dinner time comes and there are more people, okay, to cover for the empty lunch, you can sell it at a higher rate of 300 or 400 pesos because you'll still get filled because there's more demand in the evening. So those are some techniques to handle perishability. In hotels, sometimes they bring down the rate at 6 p.m. and someone inquires just so the room gets sold rather than empty. Substitutability. This site of beach with white sand is here in the Philippines. It's in Indonesia, it's in Thailand, it's in Australia. Okay, so products and services can actually be substituted. It can easily be replaced by another destination. So if they see that our airfare is expensive, but we have the same white sand beach and checked out Thailand and their hotel rooms are cheaper, they'd rather go to Thailand. So because our products are substitutable, we have to have product differentiation, which we will talk about in future lectures. We also look at seasonality, okay, where we have peak and off-peak seasons, maybe dependent on the weather or on the seasons of the year, but it can also be dependent on travel behavior. Like if it's spring break, or if it's Christmas break, the travel behavior patterns of different cultures will travel differently. So we have to be able to project when they will be moving, okay, when they will be traveling, long weekends. Okay, these are also visitor behavior patterns that we have to understand so that we can maximize and prepare for the peak seasons. So when we look at the marketing mix, we look at the five most important P's, and I will have a separate lecture on these five important P's: product, price, place, promotions, and people. So when we look at marketing, tourism marketing, each of these components are very important to come up with the right product at the right place, at the right time, and at the right price. Okay? So to me, understanding these concepts is very important because it will help us think up of ideas later on, come up with out-of-the-box ideas to market products and services of tourism, which is different from how we will market products from other industries, okay? Like TV, ref, car. There's a different way of marketing that. And tourism, because it's a want, is heavily reliant on marketing because it's perishable. Okay, there has to be a lot of yield marketing because it's substitutable. You have to look at the unique selling proposition of your product. Okay, there's so much to think of. There's an entire semester for us to look into all these details, and I'm looking forward for you to be able to really say that marketing is important to tourism because. So I leave that to you, and I hope you'll be able to answer this. And the key to the success of tourism development in destinations rely on good product development and efficient marketing. Let's stay connected. Here are my contact details. I'll see you again.